Well, as you can see, I'm here at Monk Lakes. I'm on Lake Snipe. Now, yes, it's my membership lakes and I'm always on here, but there's some big fish in here, and even though the heat has been terrible recently, it's been really bad fishing everywhere I've been, this has done bites, and especially the swim I'm in as well. So the one I've picked for this session. So yeah, here for 24 hours, try and see if we can get a decent carp. Even though it's really, really hot, I'm going to try my best to try and get a decent one. So let's get the rods out and let's go. Well, the rods are finally out. Took a little while in the heat, but yes, they're finally out, which is really good. The swim that I've picked is a swim that I've fished many times over. I've caught many carp, up to 28 pound, I think, from this particular swim. I've had lots. As I say, I've had lots and lots of bites out of it, so I kind of know where I'm fishing. I know the spots, I know where to go to. I've only changed one, which I'll get to in a bit. So the first rod, it goes out to, there's like a little tree that sort of, I don't know, it sort of hangs out, and below that is a lovely firm spot. It's only a very small little branch that sort of sticks out, but it's just basically, I just use it as a marker because I know it's a clean spot just underneath it. And yeah, still clean. It's still clear under there and it still looks proper good. I had a bite off that recently as well, so I know that that does bites. So my middle rod, that is to the end of the island to my right. So my first rod is to basically is a marker out there with a little branch that sort of sticks out, and below it is a lovely firm spot, and that is where I put it. It's sort of straight ahead from the swim really, so it's pretty easy to cast, you know, it's like straight, it's just simple. Not that far out either, so it's really good. It's always easy when you're just flicking them out onto the island. But yeah, that island is good for bites sometimes, but recently I've been struggling to get bites from the island, especially this one. I don't know why. Normally they're really good, normally they're always hanging around them, but I did struggle last time I was in here. But I'm still sticking to my same spots. Like I said, it's just a little branch that sticks out on the island, and that is where I put one of them. My middle rod, that is to the ends of the island to the right, and that is on a lovely clear spot again. Nice firm hard ground out there, and I've got a little bit closer this time. I used to come about 3 to 4 foot off of it. I never used to go that close. I've started getting closer and closer. I did try really close my last session and found out there was lots of little roots and stuff on there, so I don't want to go that close. So I've gone along a little bit and a bit more further back than I did before. It's only slight difference on that spot, but it's pretty much my same area that I've had bites on before. And then my last one is in the margin. To my right, there's like a long bay to my right, and basically you can just walk out along it and flick it out. Now I used to fish right there was like an opening in these little trees along to the right, and then you walked out and you flicked it out, came back with it. I haven't had any bites like that in ages on that spot. I've tried loads of times, nice and firm there. It's a great little margin spot, always does bites, can't get a bite on it. I think everyone else fishes it as well, so I'm like, ah. So the last time I came in here, I thought, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to change spots. So I basically went along a little bit, there's a rock, a white rock, and basically use that as a marker to pull it out. And I put it out about 12 foot out from the bank, and I had 3 bites on it. So changing my spot by maybe a rod length from my original spot has actually got me bites on my last session. I'm hoping it'll happen on this session. But so far, after putting the rods out, I've had a duck wipe me out. Luckily it didn't pick up the hook, it just picked up my line. So I've had to quickly re-flick it in before I sat down and started talking. So yeah, I had to do that, but overall, I'm happy with that margin spot. So hook baits on this occasion, I've got all 3 of them are on 15mm wafters, match the hatch. They look exactly the same as the bait that's basically in the mix. So the bait I'm spomming over the top is a mixture of pellet, boilie and particle. Now I've made particle mix up, and I've also made up a dry mix, which is pellet and boilie, and then the other one is the particle. So I'm basically got 1 bucket for the dry mix, 1 bucket for the wet mix, and I'm mixing them together. The wet mix is basically just particle of like hemp, sweet corn and flaked maize, and then the dry mix is just, like I said, pellets and boilies. There's some half boilies in there as well. I mix them up, and I think there's a few smaller boilies in there as well. I'm not totally sure, I keep changing it, but overall this is what I keep doing here. I have a dry mix and a wet mix, and basically wet mix you can just use up and throw in. You know, you can't really take it home and refreeze it, because obviously it's just going to go off, and you know, it's probably going to go a bit funny after this session because it's so hot. So you might as well just throw that in. But the dry mix I can always take with me, take home, so I don't have to, like, I can keep using it. So that's the reason I've separated them, is so I can just judge how much bait is being used as well, and also I can just mixture and make one lot of mix at a time. And another thing is the pellets will break down because the other mix is very wet, and it will just start mushing up the pellets, and I'd rather have it happen in the lake than anywhere else. So that's the reason I've done that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this session. Last time it did take a little time before I got bites. It did take a little, you know, maybe at 3 or 4 hours into the session, because it just very hot and very slow. But once I got into the afternoon, it did happen. So I'm hoping that it's going to happen on this session. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a few decent carp, and hopefully we'll get carp over 20 pound. That's my goal for this session. So yeah, let's see. Well, managed to finally get a bite. Not very big, this one, only 16 pound. But I had to change my spot. But same baiting approach, same hook bait, just had to change where I was fishing to. And he's very flappy, this one, so I'm going to get him back straight away. Right. Ugh. Well, it's been a long afternoon, I can tell you that. I can't believe I've had a bite as well. I've been trying really hard to try and get something. It's been so difficult. I've had constant ducks diving on my margin spot. I hooked a duck, but it managed to come off, luckily, so I didn't have to deal with that. They're just constantly diving on my spot. And then I had a pickup, which I don't know if it was a duck or if it was a carp, still don't know. So yeah, I've had a bit of a nightmare. I've constantly tried to scare away the ducks to stop them getting on my spot, my margin spot. It looked good, I've seen plenty of carp in the bay, thought that I was going to get one, and I just had constant ducks. So that's what's happened on that one. So to get that bite, I had to do something a bit different. Now, I was happy with all my spots, but I was sitting there looking over and someone's fishing, day fishing over the other side, and he had 2 takes when I had nothing. And I thought, yeah, okay. And I kept my eye out on the area that he's basically fishing, which is the corner of the island. There's a bar that runs off it, like a rocky bar, and he was fishing his side of it. Yeah, so like I said, he had 2 takes, and I saw towels, I've seen jumps, I've seen rolls on it. I'm thinking, yeah, I can't not do something about it. So they finally went. There was 2 of them there, but one of them was the only one fishing on that side, right? He went, so as soon as he went, I literally cast over on my side, found a nice firm spot, basically this side of the bar that runs off from the island, and I put in 5 or 6 bombs. I put 5 or 6 bombs in, chucked the bait over the top of it, obviously, got it nice and right on the money, and it's been out there about an hour, and I finally had a bite. So it was worth doing something about it, changing my spots. I felt like I couldn't just sit here and possibly blank. So had to do something about it, and it managed to get myself a bite. I mean, not very big, but stunning, really dark, beautiful carp. So yeah, I'm well happy with that. Hopefully I'll get a bite overnight, or probably more likely that I'm going to get bites in the morning. It is more of a morning area, but the one that I'm fishing towards the end of the island, it might do a bite at night. I've had bites at night in the next swim fishing reasonably close to that area, so there's a good chance of getting something else. Yeah, either that does a bite at night, or I can get a bite somewhere in the morning from my other 2 spots. So that's my hope anyway. Yeah, I'll see what happens, and yeah, I only got about an hour until it gets dark, so probably more likely something else is going to happen later on, not now. I'm just so happy that I've managed to get something, but hopefully I'll catch something else, and hopefully the next one is bigger. Let's see anyway. Good morning.
well, it's not that great of a morning. It's a little bit chilly, just a small bit. Quite a lot of mist on the lake, can barely see the other side of the lake at the moment, and nothing else happened. It's been pretty quiet really. There's been quite a lot of bites happening out in the middle of the lake. I've heard quite a few takes out there, but for me in this corner, not much. I thought the hot conditions might bring them in here. They did a few weeks ago. I was here and I had a few bites from the margin. That's the reason why I was so annoyed yesterday when I got attacked by ducks constantly, and I was trying to get it going, because there was definitely a few carp in the bay yesterday, especially in the evening. There was a lot of them in there. They might return in this morning. They usually return in the morning after the sun comes out a bit more. The mist is starting to clear now, so and the sun's starting to come out, so it might happen. I have already reset my margin rod, put it back on, fresh hook bait, put some fresh bait over the top of it. I haven't done anything else with the other two rods. The one that I had the carp on, I haven't done nothing to it. I haven't changed the hook bait or like recast or anything. I'm just going to completely leave that for another hour, I reckon, because I've just started to see a few carp rolling over the bar, so there's a good chance of me getting a bite on that one. I've just got to leave it and hope that something happens. I think that's the only two options for me. The other rod is not really doing anything, hasn't done anything. I've just got to rely on trying to see if I can get one in the margin without the duck attacking it, and hoping that I'll get another one on the one I already had a bite on. So yeah, I'm still confident, but it's just hard work at the moment, and yeah, maybe it'll pay off. You never know.
Well, I'm afraid that is the end of my session at Monk Lakes. I've tried really hard. I know I only caught one. I thought there was more bites in it. A couple of weeks ago, they started to feed in here after obviously the spawning and everything, and it was so hot as well, the conditions, and they were still feeding. I thought, yes, I'll come here and do a video. I'll get a few, maybe even a 20. And no, completely flipped on me, didn't it? This is not exactly as I planned. Least I've caught and I didn't blank, but I'm yeah, frustrated and annoyed that I didn't get anything else. I really did give it my all. So yeah, so all I've got to say is thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.